Hello, hello, my friends. It is time for my early September candle chat. Now, this is a series that I like to do on my channel twice a month where I sit down with you and I share what candles are currently in my burn rotation. Sometimes I haven't started burning them yet. Sometimes I'm giving you kind of some like initial post burns or follow-ups to dedicated reviews that I have done. And in today's video, this is going to look a little bit more like a haul. However, I do have some post-burn thoughts on a couple of these candles. Basically, today I am going to be talking about candles that I've recently hauled from KRINGLE Candle and HOMEWORX. They both recently had some pretty good sales with Labor Day last weekend. And then prior to that, honestly, they had some really good sales. In fact, I've got a couple of KRINGLE 3-wicks here. I have a couple of Halloween candles from them. And then from HOMEWORX, I have a couple of PR items that were sent to me, as well as candles that I redeemed through gratis. I am a Facebook moderator with them, and I've already explained in another video what the difference is between PR and gratis. But anyways, I've got just some fun candles to talk about here. I also uploaded a couple of days ago a Bath and Body Works haul / initial post burn reviews for you. So if you happen to have missed that one, I will make sure that I have that linked at the end of this video, as well as down in the description box for you. I feel like that video and this one combined are going to be kind of like I would say like the early September candle chat spread out across two videos, because honestly, we all know I like to talk and I didn't want it to be an hour-long video. However, I did want to get accurate information out to you, share some fun things that I have recently purchased. You all know that I am still on, I wouldn't say I'm on the tail end. I feel fine, but you guys all know how it is when you've had a cold and you just have that like lingering little bit of congestion and post-nasal drip. I can smell fine, I can taste fine, like all of that is fine, but I still sound a little bit nasally. So hopefully I won't have to take too many breaks for coughing fits during this video, but we shall just see how this goes. So make sure you grab a drink, grab a snack, settle in. I've got some fun stuff to share with you here today. If you are new to my channel, hi, I'm Katie. I love to talk all things candles. I like to do hauls. I like to do dedicated reviews, empties, sharing with you new stuff, lots of just fun candle stuff here and there. So if you like candle content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Hit thumbs up if you enjoy this video. And as always, I do want to say welcome back to any of you who have been faithfully subscribed to me and been watching my videos recently. I do really appreciate you coming back. So as always, all of the candles that I am talking about today will be listed and linked down below. I always include timestamps down there, and any affiliate discount codes that I have, we will also find in the description box. But let's go ahead and get into this video. I think I'm going to go ahead and start out with some KRINGLE candles that I have recently purchased. Now, none of these are PR. These are all candles that I purchased. You guys all know that I'm an ambassador for the brand. I did upload a couple of days ago the first sniffs for the fall reserve launch. Those candles were sent to me in PR, but these ones today, just letting you know, I purchased them with my own money. So the first candle that I purchased is a 3-wick. I took advantage of the $12.95 3-wick sale that they had going on. I want to say, gosh, it was probably 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now at this point. And the first candle that I wanted to show you is, what is this called? Spiced Apple. Sometimes I have to look on the bottom of these because they don't have them on the labels with their 3-wicks. Now, I've made it no secret that the 3-wick formula is my favorite from KRINGLE, because I do believe that this gives the most oomph, I would say. Oh, somebody's at the door. Package. This candle does give, sorry, it scared me a little bit. These candles, the 3-wicks, I feel like give the greatest strength and throw in my home. The 2-wicks are nice, and I sometimes like the packaging of the 2-wicks a little bit more, but in terms of functionality, I feel like the 3-wicks just perform the best in my home. So Spiced Apple is a new to me fragrance. I know it's not new to the KRINGLE lineup, but I've never had it before. Fragrance notes on Spiced Apple are spiced apple, cedarwood, cinnamon, green pear, musk, and tonka bean. This specific candle has a pour date of February 13th, 2024. And I like this. This is kind of like your, I would say it's like a, I don't want to say it's like a basic spiced apple scent, but it's very authentic, I feel like, to what the name says on here. Spiced apple. You get apple, You get cinnamon in here. But it's a little bit more elevated take than like, I think if you're, especially like me, if you were growing up in the 90s, we all know that like all of our moms had that Glade spiced apple potpourri spray in the bathrooms. It doesn't smell like bathroom spray. It's not like that synthetic. This is very nice. It's a more elevated take on a nice spiced apple scent. But it's cinnamon apple. I do detect actually a little hint of pear in here as well. I think that lends a little extra element of fruitiness. What else are they saying is in here? Tonka bean, maybe, but this isn't like a creamy note to my nose. Cedarwood, I don't really smell cedarwood, to be honest, or musk. But this is a nice fragrance that I feel like it just goes really well with a lot of fragrances this time of year. I can blend it with like your regular old pumpkin scents. Right now, I'm actually burning HOMEWORX' Farm Stand Pumpkin. I'm on like the tail end of that. I could also see myself burning this with their Reserve candle that I wish they would have brought back this year, the Great Pumpkin. I have 2 of those in my collection. So I feel like this one would pair really nicely. I'm in this era where I'm really enjoying burning like an apple fragrance in one room and then a pumpkin fragrance in the other. I don't know, chime in if you are enjoying that type of combination as well. But I wanted this one to try it out. I will do a dedicated post-burn review on this, but I'm very happy to have this one in my collection. A candle that was sent to me in PR in the 2-wick format when the fall release happened back in early July, and it was my favorite fragrance of the fall lineup. Now that I have tried all of the candles from the fall 2024 collection, I can safely say this is my favorite. This is Warm and Toasty. I wanted to try it in the 3-wick. I still have actually about half of the jar in the 2-wick tumbler, but as soon as I finish that one up, I'm going to make sure I have this one. Warm and Toasty has fragrance notes of cedar, smoke, sweet, marshmallow, amber, and sugar. And this one is just so good. Now, I will say this fragrance on cold, you detect more smokiness on cold, but when this candle is lit, that marshmallow and the amber balance out the smokiness. This to me is a more sophisticated take. If you tend to like Bath & Body Works Marshmallow Fireside, which if you caught my empties earlier this week, I had really not great performance from the Marshmallow Fireside that I picked up this year. It was very, very poor in terms of strength and throw. Like I could barely smell it in a smaller bedroom. Did not do well for me. This, however, is it's performing well in the 2-wick, so I'm really excited to see the 3-wick. The difference with the 3-wicks is obviously that you have a larger opening, so there's a little bit, it creates a wider, I would say, a wider avenue for more of those fragrance oils to be released. And you have more wicks, which would increase the intensity of the burn, which is why I tend to think that these, in the KRINGLE lineup at least, usually tend to be stronger. Oh, but this one is just so good. You get that amber, you get the gourmand marshmallow. I tend to like fragrances a lot like this. And truthfully, I think that this fragrance is great. If you are somebody who likes this type of scent year round, you're going to like it. But particularly not just for fall, but winter as well. I feel like this is going to be a great fragrance. So I knew that I wanted another one in my collection. Another candle that honestly, we all know I'm on this like fresh kick this fall, and I was surprised that I wanted another one of these, but this is Kittens and Cashmere, again in the 3-wick. Now, let's be honest, the label or the painted jar here, I mean, they tried, but this is nowhere near as cute as the label that is offered in the 2-wick. I did empty that one already, but I am saving that vessel just because I love that packaging. If you're new here, I have a little bit of crazy cat lady in me. My husband keeps that in check by only allowing me to have one cat at a time. And truthfully, my cat keeps that in check because she's very territorial and like hates any other creatures that come near her. But anyways, this is Kittens and Cashmere. Fragrance notes on this are ozone, green, herbal, fir needle, eucalyptus mint, herbal, amber, and musk. And I will say, this candle I have described over and over again. If you are a fan of Bath & Body Works Sweater Weather, while this is not the same fragrance, if you like sweater weather, it's pretty safe to say that I believe you will like this fragrance too. There is a little bit of a touch of like mintiness to this. It's more of like a, I don't really detect spearmint because spearmint hits my nose a little weird. It's not quite peppermint. Maybe like a wintergreen mint or something like that. That is on the top of this, but I will say that it mellows out just slightly when this candle is burning. Truthfully, the reason why I went through the first Kittens and Cashmere so quickly was because when I was sick, it was one of the fragrances that I really, really enjoyed. So might be something to keep in mind if we're coming into cold and flu season and you still want your house to smell nice for other people or maybe just for yourself. This is a good one to have on hand because it's not like Vicks Vapor Rub, but definitely you get some of that cooling effect. And I really, really enjoyed it. So I have already burned this one in the 3-wick, and I will tell you that it is a little bit stronger than the 2-wick. It performed really nicely out here in my open concept living room. Another 3-wick that I bought more so because I know that this fragrance, this is a repackage of a fragrance that was initially launched in the 2-wicks. And then when KRINGLE started coming out with the 3-wicks, they call this a different name, but it's the same fragrance. So this is Sugared Diamonds. This is Fruit and Flakes in the 3-wick format. Now, if you love fruit and flakes, I hope that you are able to get that large 2-wick tumbler for like, what was it, $7.75 during the Labor Day sale. Huge savings. I do believe that that fragrance is being discontinued in the 2-wick format. So anytime they're discontinuing a fragrance in a 2-wick, I'm like, oh, but what if they get rid of it in the 3-wick? So I knew that I wanted to get another one of these. I do actually have a full-size 2-wick of Fruit and Flakes, and I thought, I already went through a 3-wick of this candle. I know that I love it. Fragrance notes on Sugared Diamonds are strawberry, red berry, baked pastry, banana, oats, cinnamon, clove, vanilla, cooked sugar. I'm just going to tell you, I don't get any berry notes in this fragrance at all. I get the oats, I get brown sugar, but it's not caramelized brown sugar that then starts to get that like burned note. It's not like that at all. I detect some banana in here. I love this as like a good morning type of scent. I think that you could burn it this time of year. It's really a good year-round fragrance. But yeah, really glad to have another one of these in my collection. Another candle that I bought a backup of, I have already burned through one of these this fall season, is Apple Leaf. Now, truthfully, I don't know if I'm going to burn this one again this fall or if I want to hold on to it for next fall. I am a seasonal burner if you are new to my channel, which means that there are certain fragrances that I burn during certain times of the year. I know that there's quite a few of you who are more so mood burners, or you just burn whatever floats your boat. It doesn't really matter what time of year it is. And I say more power to you. We all burn home fragrance because we enjoy it, right? Why not? In your own home, in your own private space, do what sparks joy, I guess. And so for me, Apple Leaf is a really nice summer to fall transitional scent, but it's still really good, I feel like, for an early fall scent. I don't have the fragrance notes on this, but I have described this as very much like this is a freshly picked apple off of the tree. This is not so much the fruit of the apple as much as it is like the stem and the leaf and kind of that woody accord that you get from it. I did already finish burning one of these. You did see it in my empties earlier this week, but I did want to have another one of these because, like I said, that $12.95 3-wick sale was just too good to pass up. And then here's a fragrance that I have had this twice in the 2-wick, and I'm going to be really honest with you. The 2-wick, I love the fragrance, but it's not strong at all. It's a very weak performer. Like I would say it's maybe like 3.5, 4 for me. It does not perform well for me. However, when I saw that they released it in the 3-wick, they released this probably about a year ago in the 3-wick, and I was intrigued back then. But I don't know if you're like this, but sometimes I'm like, oh, I want that fragrance, but I only have so much money to spend this month, and I really need to prioritize candles that I might burn closer to this season. So like I've had my eye on this since like last January, but I knew that I was coming into like wanting to burn spring and summer. But now that we are approaching the fall and in the blink of an eye, it'll be the winter season upon us, I did decide to go ahead and purchase Snowy Bridge. Now, this, my son, excuse me, hold on, coughing fit. As I was saying, my son really, really loves the packaging on this. He loves trains. And my dad actually really, really loved trains too. So he loves the packaging because you'll probably see it in the up close. There is like a train going across it looks like a, I would say like a wooded prairie almost with snow covered on it. Fragrance notes on Snowy Bridge are frosted fir, juniper glitter, citron, midnight skies, jasmine, silver spruce, vanilla crystal, patchouli kiss. Pour date on this, is November 16th, 2023. Oh, I hope this isn't those bad wicks. We all know that KRINGLE had a weird wick moment that happened at the end of 2023. So I hope that's not the case with this. Okay, but I've always loved this fragrance to me because it, the title of Snowy Bridge is what I think of here. I think of maybe like some of those like wooden railroad trestles. But there's it sounds kind of funny. It's like there's snow on it. Now, I don't live in an area that gets snow, but this is just what I am envisioning when I see this picture. I envision snow on a wooden bridge, like one of those old railroad trestles. There's kind of you do smell like the woodiness that would have been on a tree. I don't really get the like pine needles, nothing like that. So this is more of like a woody fragrance than it is a true authentic tree fragrance. So when you see some of these, whoa, okay, don't drop it here, Katie. Frosted fir, like it's not the needles on that. Silver spruce, but you're seeing tree notes, but they're not like the needles on the tree. It's definitely more the wood on the tree. Oh, I've just always really, really enjoyed this fragrance. I really like burning this one typically in January. It's still kind of in that element of like wintry vibes, but by that point, I'm over all of the heavy holiday tree type of fragrances, but I'm not yet quite ready for all of, I don't know, like the spring and summer kind of stuff. If you're like me, I know that January for a lot of us tends to be kind of like a hodgepodge of fragrances. And there's something still kind of comforting about this fragrance, but yeah, I really like it. So for $12.95, I thought, you know what, I do want to go ahead and try that fragrance out in the 3-wick just because I know I like the fragrance. I've been disappointed with the 2-wick in the past. So I was like, well, we'll go ahead and give that one a try. I did go ahead and purchase 2 more of a Halloween candle that you guys know it is my favorite Halloween candle that was offered in the like regular KRINGLE lineup. This is Skull and Sonnet. Now, I did say that the reason why I like this fragrance so much is because it reminds me of one of my favorite fall and winter perfumes, which is a discontinued fragrance from Replica or Maison Margiela Replica. It was called Whispers in the Library. Fragrance notes on this candle are bourbon, tobacco, sandalwood, suede, amber, and oak. And I will tell you, I've burned this candle a couple of times. I will do some post-burn reviews on that candle, but I will tell you right now, my performance is somewhat light on it, to be honest with you. I was hoping for a little bit heavier fragrance. It's a little bit better suited in my bedroom, which honestly is totally fine because this fragrance is a very, to me, it's kind of like a set you in the mood type of fragrance. It's a nice bedroom candle. I'll just put it that way. There's something sophisticated and it's definitely leans a little bit more masculine, but not overly heavily like cologne musky type of scent. Oh, I just love this fragrance so much. And I was worried that it was going to sell out. So I was like, I want 2 more backups of it. You guys know that I'm actually quite intentional about my candle collection. I try not to buy a ton of backups, but if there is a fragrance that I absolutely love and I'm worried that it won't come back, I definitely will usually splurge in 1 or 2 backups. And this to me was definitely backup worthy. So really, really love this fragrance. Also, I wanted to tell you guys that if you are interested in that cologne, even though Replica has, or Maison Margiela has discontinued that fragrance, if you go onto the Alt Fragrances website, they have a perfume called Novel, and it is inspired by Whispers in the Library. So just thought I would put that out there if you were interested in it. Next, okay, I don't want to rub it in anybody's faces, but this was the candle that when it went live, it sold out in under 7 minutes. This was the only candle that I picked up from the second Halloween launch from KRINGLE this year, and you all know this is the one I wanted. This is Cute Black Cat on a Pumpkin. I did have a black cat that looked like this, and so it's a little bit sentimental for me. It reminds me of her, and also because I'm a crazy cat lady, I do love just all of this. It's so adorable. Fragrance notes on this are black cinnamon, cassia, clove, sweet sweet cream accord, white pumpkin, nutmeg, vanilla, musk, tonka, and black sugar. And I will tell you, this fragrance is so good. A lot of people, I think, have hit the nail on the head when a couple of you in the Facebook group have said, to your nose, this smells like a blend of gorgeous and sugar pumpkins. And I would agree with that. It's definitely a gourmand pumpkin. It's creamy pumpkin, but you do get some of that pumpkin spice in there. Oh, it's just really good. I'm not going to go on and on about it because I do know that it's a little bit of a sore subject. So many people wanted this candle. And truthfully, I think KRINGLE should have predicted that this one was going to sell very quickly. I don't think they anticipated it to sell that quickly, but I did jokingly laugh. I did talk to our ambassador contact and I was like, okay, well, you guys now know the winning formula. Cute animals paired with a gourmand, going to be an instant hot seller. So, yeah, I actually talked to them, because they did this vintage lineup, and I do know that there was a little bit of controversy with the artist and whatnot, but I actually suggested, and a couple of other ambassadors have brought it to KRINGLE, and they're great about doing customer feedback. But what do you guys think of this idea? We actually kind of threw out to them, like, what if they did this type of an idea for holiday or Christmas? Obviously, it's too late for that for this year, but like maybe looking ahead to next year, wouldn't it be so cute if they did one of these types of jars, like this ombre effect with like red and white or green and white, or even like a silver or a blue? And then we were saying like they could, maybe include like some vintage Christmas labels. You could do like a cat or a puppy under a tree, or reindeer, or like, I don't know. My mind was going wild with ideas, but I thought that it would have been a good idea. And then I said, like, similarly, I felt like with the country lineup, how they did that Spellbound collection, which you guys know wasn't for me, but I thought, like, what if they did that as kind of like a cookie collection or something like that, like some type of like favorite holiday treats, and maybe like included a recipe on there or something. I don't know. I thought that would be kind of a fun idea for KRINGLE to do. But anyways, those are the KRINGLE candles that I have purchased. Now let's go ahead and talk about some HOMEWORX candles. And truthfully, you guys, I'm trying to remember which ones were PR and which ones were gratis for me. So I think these first three that I'm going to talk about are gratis. It's this one, two are gratis, and then three are PR. So just stick with me here. So this first candle that I really, really wanted to talk about, because I'm getting to the point where I really need to do a post-burn review on this because I'm almost done with it, surprisingly. This is Apple Pie Cookie. Fragrance notes on this candle are warm baked apples, brown sugar, sweet vanilla cream, freshly ground cinnamon. I have a pour date of May 7th, 2024 on this candle, and you can see I've burned a lot of this one. You know why I've burned a lot of it? I'm trying to form my full thoughts because this one is a little bit confusing for me. So I will tell you that this fragrance, it's definitely not as like spice heavy as you would think an apple pie fragrance would be. Now it's apple pie cookie. I do get the cookie accord in here. It's a little bit different than like just your regular apple pie. I will say that the first two burns on this, they burned very hot, and I had wild wicks on this. In fact, I'll include a picture because I made sure the wicks were like throwing me off so much. Like they were like flame throwing type of wicks, which we all know HOMEWORX isn't really known for that. If anything, it's the opposite. They've kind of had some like very thin wicks to start out with, and they kind of build their strength as you get further down in the wax pool. But this like started from the get-go. Like after 2 hours, I was like, oh my goodness, I need to put this out because the wicks were just wild. But the funny thing is anyways, it was burning hot like that. And the first burn, I would say that this fragrance was around, like, I would say a 6 in terms of strength and throw. Wasn't throwing all throughout the house, wasn't super strong, but I could smell it out here in the living room. So that was about like the first 3 burns, and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch those wicks. Now you can see that I have been trimming the wicks, and they're not as crazy looking here towards the end as they were at the beginning. Like the beginning, it was just wild soot and carbon balls going on. The only downside that I'm finding is that after those first 3 burns, and I started to notice this, when the wicks started to calm down, I also noticed that I got decreased fragrance output on this candle. In fact, Right now, as I'm burning this, I burned it this morning. I've been burning it the last couple of days. And like I said, even though I sound bad, I can smell and taste perfectly fine. I can smell that farm stand pumpkin very, very well right now. This candle, I can barely smell it out in my open concept. And when I put it in my bedroom, it's still maybe like a 3 to 4. I can barely smell it. So I don't know if I got a dud or if something wonky happened here where maybe like the bulk of the fragrance oils somehow were at the top of this candle, not at the bottom. But this one, for whatever reason, is not very strong for me. And the reason why I'm saying this one might be off for me is because my friend Fiona, also known as Wax and Facts over on Instagram. A lot of you guys know her in the HOMEWORX Facebook group. She's also in the KRINGLE group. She's takes beautiful photography and gives great reviews. She's having a great experience with this candle. It's performing well for her. She didn't have any of those wick issues. So I don't know. I don't know if something just went wonky with my batch number or whatnot, but this one for me, I would say if you're really, really interested in it, make sure that you get it on a really good sale. But for me, this is not going to be a repurchase for me. One, for the performance. Two, for the fragrance is nice, but it's not anything that I feel like is like, we're not reinventing the wheel here on that fragrance. The next candle that I have here is Pistachio Macaron. Fragrance notes here are roasted pistachio, freshly baked macaron, marzipan cream, vanilla bean. This also has a pour date of May 7th, 2024. And a lot of people are intrigued by this because they want to compare it to the glazed, glazed pistachio donut that was out back in January, I think. Now, I do have another one of those candles currently in my collection, so I have been able to compare them side by side. And this is what I will tell you. They are cousins, but they're not the same fragrance to me. The glazed pistachio donut is a little bit sweeter. It's definitely more heavy on the pistachio glaze accord, whereas this fragrance, I still smell the pistachio for sure. It's definitely front and center, but it's not as sweet to my nose. I do get a little bit of that macaron note in the background. There's kind of that like buttery cookie in the background. It's not super strong, but I do smell it. I think that they would complement each other really well. Now, truthfully, I'm going to be getting around to my post-burn review on this one really soon for all of you. Again, the wicks on this are not as wild and crazy as the apple pie cookie. This one did take quite a while to pull out on the first couple of burns. I do notice that this one, you do want to make sure that you're allocating probably about 4 hours of burn time for this candle. I've been burning it with, I pulled out a Bath and Body Works. Is it the pistachio and toasted vanilla, or is it toasted vanilla and pistachio? I can never remember how they word that. And I've been pairing them together. However, for me, this is more of like, again, like a January, February type of fragrance. It's not really a scent that I gravitate towards during this time of year. I do like pistachio fragrances, but it's not really a fall fragrance in my mind. So that being said, I would say that if you have glazed pistachio donut in your collection, while I think this one has some nuanced differences from it, like I said, that other one is way sweeter, I don't feel like you need both. I mean, would they complement each other? Yes. The other reason that I'm going to say on this one is that strength and throw on this one, it's doing better for me than the apple pie cookie. Hold on, another coughing fit. As I was saying, this candle is doing better for me than the apple pie cookie. I'm gonna give this one right now about a strength and throw of around like a 5.5, 6. It's still not super strong. It's very medium, performs much better in a smaller room, like in a more closed concept. It does a lot better in my bedroom than it does out here in the open concept. But I will be doing a dedicated post-burn review on this one soon for all of you. But yeah, I mean, I like the fragrance. I think it's more so that just like I might like it a little bit more if this were released like in January, February. I feel like this is kind of an odd time of year for this type of fragrance to be released, but I don't know. Maybe other people eat pistachio macarons at this time of year. I don't, but I don't know. Maybe it is a seasonal thing. I feel myself getting sweatier as I'm sitting here because I turn off my ceiling fan because the extra air right now while I'm talking incites more of those coughing fits. And I definitely don't want that going on. All right, here's another candle that I am really excited about. This is Pumpkin Gingersnap. Fragrance notes on this candle are Gingersnap cookie, pumpkin spice, grated orange zest, vanilla bean. This also has a pour date of May 7th, 2024. So I've burned this one a couple of times, and I'm going to say I really like this fragrance. Now, that being said, it is heavy on the ginger. Sorry, I just hit my mic there. It's heavy on the ginger, but you definitely get that spice. I don't detect a ton of pumpkin in here, maybe a little bit, but this fragrance to me is definitely more of a fragrance that I would burn like in the month of November. This is a fragrance that is like a nice fall to holiday transitional fragrance for me. Maybe it's because I associate ginger fragrances more with the holidays, but I like this one a lot. And this one's a little bit deceptive because I feel like the throw on this candle is better than the strength. Strength on this candle for me so far, I would say like it gets stronger the longer that you burn it. So like the first hour and a half, you're thinking like, oh, this isn't very strong. The first hour and a half I was burning it, I was like, oh, that's not very strong. But then about 2.5 hours in, I started to really smell it more. Now it's still not a smack you in the face, which truthfully surprises me because I feel like spicier fragrances like this do tend to be a little bit more like bam. But this one, it throws well. I'm going to give the throw of it about an 8. It definitely fills up all of the open concept, but in terms of the strength, it's more of like a 6.5, 7. It's not going to punch you in the face, which I think is probably good, especially if ginger fragrances make you a little bit nervous. But there's definitely like, it's ginger, but it's the extra like spiciness that comes with ginger as well. You do get probably what I'm smelling here is the pumpkin spice, which pumpkin spice, when I make a pumpkin spice, usually includes cinnamon, clove, nutmeg. That's usually like my pumpkin spice blend that I put into my pumpkin pies. So I could definitely see how the pumpkin spice with the like Gingersnap accord is blended in here. I don't detect any kind of orange zest in here, or really truthfully, like vanilla bean might might tamp it down from becoming like too spicy and heavy. But the main notes that I pick up in here are ginger and that pumpkin spice. I really do like the fragrance on this one. This is probably my favorite fragrance that I have of the 5 HOMEWORX candles that I'm talking about today. But I definitely see myself doing the post-burn review on this one soon and then putting it aside for the month of November. And now we have 2 candles that actually just showed up on my doorstep yesterday. I did request these candles in PR. They did take a little while to get into the warehouse. I will touch on that after I finish talking about these candles. So if you're curious about some of the shipping things with HOMEWORX, I'll share that with you guys here. So Autumn Vineyard, I don't know why I said that so weird the first time around. Autumn Vineyard has fragrance notes of sparkling wine, fragrant orange, autumn leaves, golden amber, another pour date of May 7th, 2024. Boy, they were pouring a lot of candles on that day. Okay, so this one to me, I'm having a little bit harder time describing this because this is like, it's fresh and fruity, but more autumnal fruity, not plummy, not even overly like grape-like, I would say. If you want a comparison to say KRINGLE Candles Merlot vines, that candle's more like woody to me. And then Merlot, we know in the KRINGLE lineup is definitely like a deep, bold grape, like a wine type of scent. This has kind of like a lighter wine type of scent to it. It's not overly boozy. I do detect a base of amber in here, a little bit of perfuminess, but it's light. Like not light in terms of like the fragrance that I'm picking up is light, but the fragrance blend in and of itself is a little bit, it's not as heavy, I would say. It says autumn leaves and fragrant orange. Maybe I smell a little bit of citrus in here, but it's not like orange. Like I'm like sitting there going, oh, this is an orange candle. That's not at all what I'm smelling. It's just a fruity, like light fruity scent, but also it feels very appropriate for this time of year. Now, I haven't visited a bunch of vineyards. I'm not a big wine drinker. Sometimes I go back and forth and I'll smell the lid. But I like this. In some ways, you know what it kind of reminds me of you know, when you're flipping through a catalog or like the old school magazines and they would have like perfume samples like in the flap. There's something about this. I feel like I've smelled a perfume that smells like this. It's not overly perfumey, like smack you in the face, but I do think it's that base note of amber in here mixed with kind of like a fruitiness. I don't know. I'm going to have to burn this one, and I will also look up like the more detailed fragrance notes that are listed on the Slatkin & Co. website. I would do that for you right now, except I film on my iPhone, so I can't pull that up on my phone right now. But I do like that fragrance. I'm very curious to see what it's like when I am burning it. And then the last fragrance here that I have to talk about is Charred Apple Woods. I know a lot of people were very intrigued and excited about this candle. Fragrance notes on this are Macintosh apple, orange peel, charred cedar, tobacco leaf, pour date again of May 7th, 2024. And, okay, this candle, I've already kind of seen some people talking about in the Facebook group that they are slightly disappointed by this because it's more apple heavy than I think that they were hoping. I think that they were hoping for a little bit more smokiness in here. So on cold sniff, what I am smelling, I definitely get that like Macintosh juicy apple. It is a juicy apple scent in here. Not a super tart apple. It's definitely a Macintosh type of apple. I smell the charred note and I get a little bit of tobacco, but they're in the background. So I'm very curious to see if those come out a little bit more upon burn. But I will say that this is predominantly just like almost like a Macintosh apple scent to me. Like I said, I do pick up the charred note. I do pick up a little bit of tobacco in there, but it's not very, very heavy. So I'm curious to see upon burn what this one does. However, like I said, I just opened these ones up, so I do need to get to burning those so that way you can see some reviews on that. So feel free to comment down below if you want, what do you guys want to see post-burn reviews on first? That always really helps me out when I am prioritizing what I want to be burning. I did also want to let you guys know that I have ordered, goodness, I need to readjust myself here. I did end up reordering Autumn Pumpkin and Haunted Apple Nights. Is that what it was called? Haunted Apple Nights. I did reorder those. So if you're wanting an idea so far of like which ones are really good, I did also place an order for, what do I have on the way to me? Oh goodness, my brain is freezing out here. I do know that they are sending me Autumn Pumpkin Pie in PR. That one is coming to the website if it's not already on the website. They are also sending to me. Goodness, I will think about it. I'll put it across right here what ones I did end up deciding to get. Oh, I did order pumpkin cold brew because a lot of people have been talking about that one and hyping it up, and I was like, okay, I do want to try that. And what was the other one that I was interested in? Oh, the spiced vanilla pumpkin. I have that in the hand soap, and I thought, you know what, I do want to try that one in the candle format. And I feel like there's one more candle that's being sent to me in PR that I haven't. I know one was Autumn Pumpkin Pie or Apple Pumpkin Pie. I'm trying to think of what the other one is. Like I said, it'll come across the screen here. I'll look it up and share with you what that is. So lots of fun things coming down the pipeline here. I am busy burning away for all of you. But again, please hit thumbs up if you enjoy this video. Feel free to comment down below. Did you purchase any candles during the $12.95 candle sale over at KRINGLE, or did you participate in the Labor Day sale with HOMEWORX? Oh, what I wanted to touch on there is that I do know that a couple of people have talked about some shipping things going on with HOMEWORX. So I did talk to my contact with the brand, and I was just asking for some clarification so that way we can pass that information along to you, because after all, I am an ambassador for the brand and I like to give part of the partnership is that we kind of pass on information as it's been given to us. So I do know that over the last month, especially when they ran a really good sale back in early August, there were some shipping delays. Like we were noticing things were taking about 2 weeks to come out. So what they were running into was that they had dates where product was supposed to be in stock in their warehouse, and then something happened where the items were a little bit delayed. They also have contracts with some distributors. Now, she didn't mention the exact distributors. I personally am of the mindset that it was probably QVC, to be honest, because we know that Harry was on for Christmas in July, and he is on QVC a lot. We do know that a lot of candles, HOMEWORX candles, they do have a pretty good partnership with QVC. And so I do believe that they fulfill the QVC orders first before they tackle the website orders. So I think that's just put into some of their distributor contracts. So I did want to let you guys know that that was the information that I was given. So if you're noticing some shipping delays, it was because some things got backed up from the month of July. It seems like they're getting a better handle on that right now, but I did just want to pass that information on to all of you. Also, we're starting to see some HOMEWORX candles starting to show up again in all of those discount retailers. I'm seeing quite a few of you post that you're finding them in TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls. So my local stores don't really have a whole lot. They have some soaps, but I haven't seen any candles yet. I am planning to go down on Friday, so hopefully we'll maybe I'll be able to come into contact with some out in the wild. But let me know if you have come in, if any have come into your possession through that way. I think they're like $14.99, which is not a bad price. So phew, I feel like that is it for my candle chat today. Stay tuned. I'll have lots of dedicated reviews coming up for you this week. Like I said, the next couple of weeks, I've got so many candles to review that you might be seeing a couple of 2-a-days, but I'm sure a lot of you guys don't mind that. So I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.